Hello, Writerly friends, and welcome to the first Preptober write-in of 2023. I am really excited. Partially, I am on a super high right now because the windows are all open in our house. It is finally cool enough to have the windows open all day long, and it was even chilly enough this morning that I couldn't open them all because it would have frozen us. That has me excited. I am smart enough at this point to know that this will likely not last for very long. We get like a little false fall and then a little back into surprise. It's actually still late summer, a couple of times back and forth over the month of October, usually sometimes into November. But I think that we're finally moving out of the 90s being normal. And we're getting into where the 80s are going to kind of more be the hot days. So that has me very excited. As you can tell, I've got my candy corn lights hung up, and I don't know if you can see this, but a fall wallpaper on my screen, and I'm just feeling, and I'm wearing fall colors. I'm wearing fall colors today, so I'm feeling it all today. It feels really good. But this week was a very productive week, and as a real quick recap, the month of October, I am working on 2 goals. The first being to complete the first draft of Swan Song, my YA fairy tale retelling, and the second goal is to complete the outline of the next fairy tale in me series, which I am finally decided on is going to be Project Glass. And I'm not going to give away any spoilers as to which fairy tale specifically I am retelling for that, I think until the end of the month. And then I may give a hint. We're going to see. I'm going to see how I'm feeling. But as a recap for the work this week that got done for Project, well, it's not Project Swan anymore, it's the official title, Swan Song, I managed to draft 8,485 words total, which came to a total of about 3.5 scenes. So 3 3/4 of the scenes, which I am very, very proud of. I did have 2 full days that I was not able to write this week. Thursday, we had a midwife appointment, and then Friday, we were having company, and I was like panic cleaning all day. So that was all that I accomplished. Will I write on Swan Song today or tomorrow? No, absolutely not. Because that was a lot of words to spread out over 3 days of writing, almost 9,000 words. And I feel very, very proud of how much I got done. And I believe that if I continue working toward this, that I can continue to get more scenes done every week. The goal obviously is to get about 5 scenes written a week, but this ended up being perfect. I'm in a spot where I'm kind of trying to figure out what to do. It's one of the scenes that was only 2 or 3 sentences in the outline because I genuinely didn't know how I wanted it to play out. So it has so far ended up being the longest scene that I've written in this part of it, and I'm still not finished with it, trying to figure it out. So it's probably going to take me a full day of writing next week just to figure out this scene and move on to the next. But once we move into the next couple of scenes after that, those ones I think are going to move by a little bit more quickly because they have a little bit more of what I'm really interested in writing in this book, which is the budding romance, the hints at magical backgrounds for people, the hints at who the hidden bad guy might be, all kinds of fun things. Today was a fun day. Again, the windows being open I've been on a high all day because of that. But also, I got to participate in the second goal, which was outlining the next fairy tale, Project Glass. Bethany Atazadeh, who has a YouTube channel and Instagram account, does a whole bunch of cool stuff. You really should go check her out. I will leave her channel linked in the description box below. But she has started doing live streams every week over the month of October, and I believe she's going to attempt to do them over the month of November as well. And in the month of October, it is all about plotting and outlining a book in a month. And we have been using the Save the Cat Writes a Novel. I believe she is using the YA version of this, which I don't have. But I am very excited to have this book back. I haven't had it in a while. I've owned it for a long time, but I lent it to a niece, and I had to borrow it back really quickly this week because I realized we were going to be using it. But today I actually realized that before I figured out all of this, I really needed to go back to the main character and figure her out. So I, of course, pulled out, if you've been here for a while, you'll recognize this notebook, but my fairy tale notebook, which is almost out of pages. And I sat down and did about, 1 full page worth of work But these are all like big idea, what am I even doing here? Because this project is the one that I have the most material for as far as the remaining 3 fairy tales, as far as who the main characters could be and the fairy tale itself and how all of that is woven together. But I still have a ton of stuff that's not figured out, including the main character. I hadn't figured out any of her flaws. I hadn't figured out her lie/misbelief, her fears, her wants versus her needs, all of that good stuff, her background. This book. You know my love affair with this book, The Emotional Wounds Thesaurus. I'm going to be reaching out into this book, I think, next week. But what I realized was I really needed to just start off with some good character work, because how the story goes down and the external conflicts that I bring into play through things like a catalyst, a midpoint, the dark night of the soul, are all going to revolve around this character's growth and their journey. And so it's her, she's a princess. And so I needed to figure that stuff out first. And I also realized the most important question, I don't know who the villain of the story is. I had a villain. I don't like that villain. I want something a little bit more unique, a little bit more fun to play with, a little bit less, of course, this is going to be the bad guy. So we're going to kind of be thinking about that. These are all great questions that I've been thinking about. But I did figure out, Sarah, I'll go back to this. I did figure out some very important things. I did solidify for sure and certain that this is going to be a dual point of view book, from the perspective of the princess as our main character, and then I can't say the title, the opposite male character as a secondary point of view character. So pretty much the same as what I have in Swan Song. I figured out some of the character's basic flaws. I figured out her personality type, and I did figure out 2 very specific emotional wounds that I know that she's going to deal with. I also figured out a theme. It presented itself very quickly, which is a relief, because with Swan Song, I am still figuring out how the theme works, because in this, it was very clear to me both of these characters need to work on this. With Swan Song, it's like, well, this is what hers is and this is what his is, so what is the connecting theme? We're working on that. I also figured out a pitch, like a one-line if people ask me what it is about, besides just saying what the fairy tale is. But I can't give you that because it's too spoilery of what the fairy tale is. Then I realized, okay, so what is this character's journey? I did figure out the external catalyst, the thing that is basically going to change her world in a way that she can't go back to the way that things were. Then I backed up and I kind of figured out like what the opening image needs to be. The theme stated, the setup, those are the beat sheets in the Save the Cat. And I really like it. I feel like already these things that I've introduced as external conflicts that she's going to be interacting with could really play into things like theme and even just daily life, which is what the whole setup is about. So what I need to work on next week is first and foremost a villain. I need to pick a villain so I know what their evil plot is going to be, because I'm sure that will launch many of the conflicts. And I really need to solidify a little bit more deeply, just some more about my main character and how that's going to affect the rest of the plot. Another thing that I think that I will be utilizing potentially tonight, potentially tomorrow. Normally I take Sundays off completely, but I may just kind of sit and read through and make some notes. But I would love to go ahead and get into the Preptober planner pages for this specific book and go ahead and go through the idea brainstorm sessions, specifically in relation to things like the central conflict of the story, any kind of relationship drama. And then I love that she has the 10 possible scenes. I think that will help a lot for me to kind of envision where it's going, plus the working outline. And I may go back through, I keep on hand in a notebook up there, a stack of the Heart Breathing Sarah Cannon's how to plot your novel workbook sheets specific to the characters, because I love going through those. And I also keep some of my own. I have a character profile that is a free download on my website. I'll link that in the description box, as well as the Heart Readings channel. So that if you're interested in a Preptober workbook, you can get one because they're free. You just sign up for her newsletter. But I think I may print off or find in my stash some of those and keep those on hand to work through as well. Something that I really enjoyed about the live stream was that the whole point of the live stream was for Bethany and all of us to kind of help plot this book that she's putting together. And then in the background, while we're going through comments and I'm commenting a little bit, I'm also working on mine. So it's a feeling of being in the community and even getting ideas from, not ideas for like tropes that she's using, but ideas as far as like, well, these are some elements I should be considering in my own work. But it was just a very relaxed atmosphere, and being able to work through my own notes was really helpful. So I think I may include that as well. Overall, this was a highly productive week. I have had so much fun. I've had so much energy. I have had to write more evenings than I have in a very long time. It kind of feels like Nano, which is basically what this is Nano a month early. But it's been a very good experience, and it has me full of hope. Something that this year presented was a challenge to whether or not I was going to be able to continue writing at all, let alone consistently and let alone with high productivity days. And this month so far, this last couple of weeks really, is just, it's giving back that hope that I'm in a season right now of high productivity. Baby's going to get here. I'm going to go back into a season of lower productivity, but a lot of healing and a lot of rest and a lot of sweet, sweet, sweet snuggles. And then I'm going to be able to get back to it. I'm going to be able to get back into a season of productivity, and it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to be loving it. So I'm going to cut off the vlog here because that's all that I have to say. Again, the live streaming video specifically, the one that was like announcing it, is going to be in the description box, as well as Bethany's channel. And I will also leave a link for both of these books, as well as Creating Character Arcs by K.M. Weiland, which is the other book that I'm going to be pulling out and reading kind of on the side as I think about my main character and about her growth and about who she is and what she needs to become in this story and how that is going to affect the external conflicts, as well as vice versa. If you like this video and want to be kept up to date on further writing check-ins and writerly discoveries and writerly recommends, then be sure to subscribe, click the notification bell, and do hit the like button and comment below to let YouTube know that you like this video, to keep recommending this to people who also might enjoy it. I hope you have an amazing rest of your weekend writing, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!